Viewers, you are watching the Policy Times, India's only channel on public policy and foreign affairs. In today's context, as we know that technology is integral part of sustainable development. Within the broad framework of technology, blockchain has emerged as a very powerful problem solver to some of the critical problems that the world is facing today. So to talk on that, I have Mr. Kohei Kurihara. Kohei-san is the chapter president of Japan of the Government Blockchain Association. And this association is a non-profit government association which is working on spreading the knowledge of blockchain and helping different agencies, government agencies, business, startups to use blockchain for their profit making, and how can you exponentially increase your profits for the companies? How can governments use blockchain for their development and better governance, and how can multilateral organizations use blockchain for their development? So Kohei-san, welcome to the Policy Times, and thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah, it's very appreciated to be here to talk with you about this.
So Kohei-san, the first question goes like this: how do you define blockchain in a very simplified manner so that every section of the society, be it a businessman, startup, or a government policymaker, or anyone can understand the meaning of blockchain?
Sure. To me, the blockchain is the new technology changing data ownership definitions. This is a very primary issues for all the individual. So far, the data has been stored by the specific big companies like Google, Facebook, other big players. It's been taking your own data onto the platform. However, the blockchain has a big potential to change the data ownership, bring out the ownership from them to you. So this is a kind of the future potential technologies.
I see. Now, what are the applications of this blockchain? How can we use blockchain for what kind of world problems can blockchain solve? Starting from
we have
multilateral organizations.
We have a lot of the opportunities with the blockchain technology in the futures, because technology has a new empowerment. Some kinds of futures they have it, such as to eliminate the intermediates who is in charge of a specific working on to reach some stakeholders. By using a blockchain technology, we have some potential to eliminate the surplus of these working right now. Or we can take our own data ownership. This is a very important law. For example, like in Europe, they just started the GDPR, which is a new regulation regarding your own data management. So this kind of movement, it happens in occurrence. Blockchain will happens as a coverage of your data ownership with the technologies.
Okay, in the financial sector, in terms of stopping financial frauds and improving the financial security and data privacy, how is normally blockchain be used by different countries, companies, and organizations?
In the financial sectors, the blockchain has a very big potential to be connected each of the financial institutions. Even these institution is remoted to be located, like between Japan and India. We have a lot of the processes right now, but once the blockchain comes out, we can make seamless transactions, which is making a faster and low commissions. This means contributed the consumer experiences. This kind of the potential approach will be happens the once blockchain comes out to the market.
Okay. We saw that many countries have, banned the blockchain-led cryptocurrencies. We saw China has also stopped or banned a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges. Different countries have also, but there are certain countries which are embracing blockchains and other cryptocurrencies. Japan has been one of the countries which have taken a very strong positive leadership role in promoting blockchain and cryptocurrencies. How has the cryptocurrency emerged or blockchain industry emerged in Japan? I think Japan is also a leader in artificial intelligence and blockchain, both technologies. How has the industry emerged and what has been the regulatory and government support to promote this industry?
Sure. The first I will say about the cryptocurrency regulations, because the crypto and blockchain is a different perspective. Crypto, we have started the regulatory actions since the early of this industry that happens. This means the exchange or related to business can running their own business officially. So this means like the incentivize for the business part, enterprises can make a healthy market. This is a very big incentive. The government is trying to look into this market by examining a specific approach, how it works. The regulation is one connections between the market and regulatory parts. So this regulation has a good or bad perspective. The good part is making a more healthy business here. Right. Because once the consumers go to the exchange need to identify who is buying and selling.
Right.
It could be happens, a lot of the consumer can go to the market without any doubt. So this is a good part. But bad part is exchange need to make more strong maintenance for your business to prepare for the system, management, a lot of the cost that happens. This type of the perspective we have among the regulations. Then a lot of the financial related business is coming to the crypto market right now, not only for just the trading, but also like some loans, lending, a lot of the business is becoming right this moment. This is a first of a crypto. Besides, the blockchain technology has a very early stage right now. Some university is trying to make an experiments with the working enterprises. For example, Tokyo University is the top university in Japan, is started working at Toyota, the automobile company, to examine whether electric car vehicle has been running among the specific communities, the peer-to-peer trading. This kind of experiments has been a new incentive for the market, adding a lot of the use cases we can learn through their outcome. In the blockchain space, this kind of use cases is happens a lot, but for the regulatory part, they also try to examine each sectors. In particular, economic ministry in Japan is being very proactive. They started to study and research a few years ago. It was a very early stage, but they tried to look at the several sectors to use the blockchain technologies. For example, education record is a promising part. The Sony is a electric company in Japan has started the educational experiments among the junior high school, the elementary school, try to track in a record. At this moment, they don't use the blockchain technology, but in the future, they try to put the blockchain technology into the record. So this kind of the collaboration is becoming happens. But the blockchain space, we have no specific regulation at the moment. But in the future, we have a variety of the potentials.
What kind of regulatory suggestions you would have to different governments? If the government has to make policies and regulations, what kind of policy and regulatory incentives and restrictions you would suggest to governments?
To be honest, I'm not the person internally decision making. From my view, is for the government is need to look at what happens if they approve the specific regulation regarding the blockchain technology. So this is the very big pictures. Once they talk about the blockchain technology, they often to quote a kind of the discussion related to the SDGs, the social development or something, because the social action is the goal for us to achieve some specific directions. This is a pretty important. We have some big potential to use the blockchain technology to put on the record regarding the copyrights. There's some Japanese copyrights in pirates in other countries. The Japanese copyrights holders want to make money by using a lot of the use cases outside the market. But right now, we have not the specific method to control their own copyrights. Blockchain has a specific potential to track in a record. Even your copyrights is go to another market. Technology proves that your own rights is in a whole by yourself. So this kind of the potential movement that happens right now, but in the future, we believe there could be happens more things to the variety of the ministries.
I'm sure. Kohei-san, how can India and Japan collaborate to promote blockchain for its socio-economic development?
That's good questions. We have some steps. The one is the exchange of talented. This is a very important point. I visited in India, Mumbai, to the IIT Bombay this January. I saw a lot of the potential students in India. Then they are very eager to know more about the blockchain technologies. In these cases, we can exchange the talented from India to Japan and Japan to India to making a trial for the specific opportunities to sharing each of the resources. This is a very good first step to communications.
Right.
The second is try to make it a practice. So in India, I saw a lot of potential areas we can bring from Japan to India to solve the specific issues with cooperating the local people.
Right.
Working with the local people is the primary things. We can share each of the knowledges, the skills and experiences. We know Japanese original things, but you know the India original things. We have to combine these of precious activities each other. So this is the second step. The third step is creating a social impact each other, like making a standards, making a educational like properties or something. This is a new standard between the countries. So these three steps is the primary things. Right now, what we are doing is try to make a new technology encourage this ecosystem.
Okay, so this was Kohei-san Kurihara, who gave us a brief understanding about how do you define blockchain. Though in my layman language, I may not be able to define it that way, but I'll skip to the other points that Kohei-san shared. That blockchain has tremendous potential to solve financial problems, data privacy issue, copyright issues. And Kohei-san also shared certain views on if governments have to prepare regulations, then what are the areas government can touch. Then in the end, Kohei-san also said that in 2-3 ways, India and Japan can collaborate for better use of blockchain and this kind of technologies for socio-economic benefit. Kohei-san, any last message, and then we'll conclude the discussion.
Sure. I want to give you the message, the viewers on these videos is I'm from Japan. We have a very big potential between India and Japan because I visited your countries. From my perspective, we can do is teaming up solutions right now cross borders. So this is a very key point. I think we believe that we can do that if we can work together. Even the very big difficulties to overcome the social issues, the social development, teamwork is a primary role. In the future,
Absolutely.
we want to make new platform we can onboard together to make good things. Once it happens, we can make a collaborations. So this is my message. We will be future working together. Then I'm in Japan. Please call me if you need anything help.
Absolutely. So this was Kohei-san. India and Japan enjoys a long and fruitful relations, whether it
Yes.
is through trade, economic relations, investment. It is one of our core development partners. And Japan is well advanced in terms of technologies, manufacturing, and a lot of other areas. So India can certainly benefit from the collaboration with our Japanese counterparts. So thank you. Keep watching the Policy Times.
Thank you.